Good morning, Roybal Theater. Good morning, BFA Leadership. Welcome back to Community Couch Time. May 1st, International Workers' Day, May Day. Yay, all workers are essential. They've always been essential. They were essential before the pandemic. They're absolutely essential now, and they will always be essential for the rest of time. And so today, that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about how all workers are essential and how sticking together, working together to make sure that your rights are protected has always been the best way that workers are protected. And so I'm going to share some stories with you. And one of them is about the United Farm Workers. And so a lot of you have learned about Larry Itliong, you've learned about Dolores Huerta, you've learned about Cesar Chavez, and you've learned about all of the farm workers that came together to fight for rights. And in my class, you've learned a lot about how El Teatro Campesino, how they created these actos, and they would go out into the fields and they would sort of like teach about people coming together, workers coming together to demand their rights. And so back in the, let's see, 70s, 60s and 70s, when my family on my dad's side were working up by the Fresno area, they would pick things like oranges, grapes, peaches, lemons even. And so you know, they were migrant farm workers, and my dad saw a lot of he was very young, but he saw a lot of rights being infringed upon the people, and that had a huge impact on him. And so one of the things that he recalls is when Cesar Chavez and some of the organizers came through a little place by Fresno called Wheatley, California. And they asked if they could, you know, stay on the land that belongs to my tia. So my tia has this house that's in the middle of all of these oranges. She doesn't own any of the oranges or anything like that. She only owns the little casita that's right there. But they let all of the organizers sort of camp out there. They brought a picnic table, which ended up staying on my family's land for many years. And so my grandfather, he didn't want to be a part of the union. He didn't want to go on strike. But my grandmother, Guadalupe, who I'm named after, she said, no, we are going to organize with the workers because we all deserve better rights. And the only way that we're going to get our rights is going to be if we stick together as a union. And so my grandpa, he was a father of 12 children, and I already had some cousins. So my older tias were already having kids. So there was a lot of people that depended on their work. And so my grandpa was worried about that. He's like, I don't want to go on strike. I don't want to be a part of this union and risk losing a job, because how am I going to feed my family, right? And my grandmother said, no. We come together, we work together so that we can demand better, and we will be okay. And so she would be out there making the tortillas outside. They would, you know, make the little tostales and roll out the tortillas, and they would feed the workers who were on strike because they needed to eat, right? And so that's something that really stuck with my dad a lot, and it really made me think of how unions are powerful. And so they won a lot of things, right? Cesar Chavez and the United Farm Workers were able to win a lot of rights, but some of the very basic rights that we may take for granted that they were able to win are things like having bathrooms, like the porta potties. Think about it. Imagine you're out working all day long. Of course you're gonna have to use the restroom, and before there were no restrooms. And so another basic thing that they won was water being provided to them to drink. I know, like in the Fresno area, it could get as hot as like 115 degrees and sometimes hotter. Can you imagine being out there working in the fields, and if you want to drink water, the bosses back then would sell the water to you. And so now, you know, water is provided. Water is life. It's life-giving. And so, you know, those are things that were won with the union. Another thing is I grew up in Oxnard, which still has a lot of strawberries. It's known for strawberries. They have a strawberry festival there. And so strawberries grow on the ground like really low. And so before, they used to give the workers a tool that's really short, a little hoe. It doesn't have a very long handle. And so they would have to go really low to the ground to work on the strawberries. And so one of the things that was won was what they call the long-handled hoe. And so it's the longer one, because then you don't have to stoop as low. It's still hard work. It's still backbreaking. but at least the tool makes it a little bit more humane. And those are things that were won because of the union. And then, of course, I think of the union that I belong to, United Teachers Los Angeles, and how we went on strike last year. And we won a lot of things, not just for ourselves, but for our students. Things that we need to be able to be better teachers for you, for the schools to be better for you, like the nurses, librarians, lots of things that we fought for to ensure a better quality education. And we could only do that if we all stuck together to make sure that all of us together were okay. Like isang baksak, right? All together we rise and together we fall, right? And so I want to share a list, just a very short list of some of the things that that unions have won. We have weekends now because of the unions, right? I mean, I know workers work over the weekends as well, still to this day, but the whole notion of having a weekend came from union organizing. Sick leave, so if you're sick, right, that came from union organizing. Minimum wage, right? In the past, you know, the owners could just pay you whatever they felt like paying you. Now there's like a minimum, like you cannot pay lower than that. And we know that the minimum wage is still too low, right? It's not a it's not a living wage. We need it to be higher. But at least the unions won the rights for the workers to not get paid below a certain rate, right? So for today's daily journal, you are going to write about a time when a worker that you know needed some sort of protection. When has a worker that you know, somebody maybe in your family, been mistreated by a boss and needed some sort of protection? Thank you. Happy International Workers' Day. Happy May Day. I hope you have a great weekend. Y la quech.